computer.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hey there.
Hey there. How are you?
Good. All right. I think we're just about to get started. Welcome, everyone. I'm glad you all could get on and got the link okay. And Robbie has put a link to our agenda in the chat. And then she's also going to have that on the Artist Lounge as well. So we can you can because there's links on that if you click on some of the things that we talk about, you could get to the things that we talk about as well that way. So and you may want to have something to write with and a pad of paper because I think we're going to have some good information today from some of the things we share. So oh, and I see Joni's dog there. He's very cute.
Stand up here, boy. Stand up here.
Oh, what a good looking dog.
There's another one.
There's mine.
Oh, this is the benefits of having Zoom. You can see it.
Your buddy.
What's his
He's
name?
watching intently.
He's a spaniel of some sort. What kind of
He's a Cavalier King Charles.
Cavalier
Yeah.
Charles?
Cute.
Joni, is that a new puppy?
You're muted, Joni. Stella, she's 3 now. Actually, today, 3.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
She's my lap dog.
Oh, well, welcome everyone. I'm going to do some quick introductions. And if you're here, just wave your hand if I call on you. So I'm Dawn Petrell. I'm the president right now. So hello. Robbie Benvey is our vice president in communications. Pat Carbone is our secretary. Carr Shepard is our treasurer. Amanda Covey is the membership and social events. Judy Coggin, are you here? No. Oh, okay. She's the community exhibits chair. Sydney Fennerin and Pat Carbone are both our fellowship chairs. And Jeff Sager is our website. No? Okay. So our first order of business, I'm hearing some weird muffling. Robbie, should we mute? And then you could just like,
Should I mute everybody?
yeah, and if somebody needs to raise their hand to say something, I think chat. Robbie, do you want to explain how you raise your hand?
You know, I don't see a raise hand on my screen for some reason.
Okay. Well, maybe if you just raise your hand in there, and then we can unmute you or have you unmuted, and then you can speak if you need to. How about that? We can
But they can still unmute themselves.
Okay. So you guys can all unmute yourselves. Does everyone know how to unmute? How about thumbs up if you know how to unmute?
So do we mute ourselves?
Yeah, I think we're gonna all mute while we're doing this, just so we don't have a lot of background noise. But if you need to talk, then we can unmute you, or you can unmute yourself. Ed, I think it's Ed. Can you unmute yourself there? Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right.
Hi.
Okay. So the first order of business is we are going to vote for our new officers. Before we do this, I just want to say that it has been a pleasure serving you guys, and I've really enjoyed being the president. But I'm very happy to pass this along. Thank you all for everything you've done these past few years to make it such a pleasure for me to be your president. But I would like to nominate 2 people. Actually, I guess 3 people. Okay. And the 2 people are Kathy Gatto for president, and David Engler for vice president, and Robbie Benvey for first quarter president. And I'm going to ask, I know you all know Robbie pretty well, unless Robbie, you want to say anything, not necessarily, but I'm going to ask Kathy and David to just say a little bit about themselves, just so we know a little bit more about you. So maybe Kathy, do you want to start?
Okay. Am I coming through?
Yes.
Okay. Kathy Gatto, and I have grown up and lived in Columbus and moved to Dublin 30 some years ago, raised my kids, went to Dublin High School, and I've always liked making things. It's just been a constant. I was a teacher for a few decades and always incorporated art into my science classes with elementary and junior high kids. I just like making things. I don't care if anyone ever sees it. It's just something my hands and my brain need to keep doing. I guess that's it.
All right. Thank you, Kathy. And then I'm going to hand it over to David, if you want to say a little bit about yourself.
Oh, hi. Thanks, Dawn. So, David Engler. I was born and raised in New York City. I grew up in the South Bronx, New York. I went to high school with 6,000 boys there. It was a big crowd. And when I went to high school, I was a pretty good mathematician. But my high school math teachers asked me to take fine arts. And I didn't, at the time, I didn't know why, but they did tell me it would make me a better mathematician. So fast forward like 50 years later, I became quite a good mathematician. I got a doctorate in economics here at Ohio State. And then I went off into healthcare. I worked here in Ohio for 30 years, lived in Dublin all of that time. And then I got a great job over in Washington, D.C. And packed up, moved my wife and said goodbye to our kids and everything, and moved over there for a wonderful opportunity. And I tell you, one of the things that I did, and I told Dawn and the others while I was over in Washington, I had a chance to work with Tony Fauci. I was on the White House Ebola task force when I was in Washington, D.C., among other stuff that I did. And Tony Fauci is really a very nice guy. And he's got a great sense of humor and a wonderful fellow to work with. And worked with him for about a year and with Vice President Biden. And it was a great experience when we were there. And to commemorate my experience over there, President Obama gave me these box of chocolates, which I still have. So these are official Obama chocolates. But to make a long story short, when I retired, we moved back to Dublin. I have a daughter here, got married in September last year, and we moved here to retire. And my first year of retirement was kind of rocky because I really didn't know what I was going to do. And then I remembered 50 years ago, I started doing some artwork, and I took a lot of online classes and stuff, and I've been painting mostly with pastel, and I do a little bit of watercolor here and there. And it's just been an absolute joy. I've got the privilege of being able to take my time and to spend as much time in the studio, 7-8 hours a day, if I wanted to. So I'm doing that now, and I'm just sort of fully immersed in art and trying to learn and absorb all of this stuff I probably should have learned these last 50 years, but I'm enjoying it tremendously. So I got involved with you guys a year ago and enjoying that tremendously. So that's my story.
All right. Thank you, David. All right. So I'm just going to give you the slate of our officers then. Oh, actually, one other just bit of business. Is there any other nominations from the floor? Anybody, just raise your hand if you have another nomination from the floor. Okay. So without further ado, I'm gonna give you the slate of officers that we would have then. So it would be Kathy Gatto as president, Robbie Benvey as first quarter president, David Engler as vice president, Pat Carbone as secretary, and Carr Shepherd as treasurer. So I'm going to ask you all to unmute yourself because we have to do this by a voice vote. So if everyone can go to your left-hand corner of your screen and unmute yourself. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Is there any nays?
I just
Okay.
had a question.
Okay.
What is a first quarter president? And is that just for the transition period, or what does that mean?
Robbie, do you want to answer that?
Yes, I was wondering if that, how you said it was a little confusing. But we are basically co-presidents at the beginning of the year. And then I will, just to get things started. And then when they feel like when Kathy feels like, okay, I got it, I will just space out basically. Just to give more support at the beginning. She's the president, I'm the co-president in support until, as long as she needs it. If after a week she says, okay, you know what, I don't need you, I'm gone.
It's maybe the second quarter.
And I will stay on as the board, the past president on the board. So you'll have me as an advisor as well. But
I have a question for Susan. I want to know what you're drinking.
Oh, it's
You don't have to answer that.
I take ordinary water and I flavor it with a little bit of the sparkling ice
Susan,
water, and
I'm
I drink
sorry.
a lot more water that way. And I'm not hurting myself at all, according to the
I'm sorry, Susan King. I met Susan Roster.
Oh.
She has a little cocktail glass.
You drink again? What's going on there?
I'm just
What if it's
teasing.
happy hour?
I'm just
Oh,
teasing.
there you go. I'm gonna go get a beer. Hold on.
oh, wait a second. Before you do,
Oh.
all the A's are, I need to officially
I'm sorry.
have you guys in as president, vice president. The board is settled, and we have a new board. So
I want Pam's background. Hey Pam, let's see that background again. How do you get that?
That's a high state bridge.
Oh, it's on the hot state bridge.
that's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
So will Robbie
That
stay
one,
on,
right.
will Robbie stay on as communication? And I think you've done a wonderful job with sending out, all that great communication. So hats off to you for doing that. Will you continue in that?
Thanks. Yes, I will. That was not for vote because it's not one of the board members'
Right.
positions. But yes, I will be still continuing with the communications.
Good. Thank
And
you, Robbie.
Karen Van Cleef just came on board. You just missed, we voted for the new board officers. And I have a link on the chat. If you go to the chat, you should be able to see a link to the agenda for tonight. And then we have a new one, Carol Shurlow is coming in also.
Oh, great.
All
Okay.
right, I'm gonna mute myself. You go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna have everyone mute yourselves again. There's a dog somewhere.
Yeah, I need to get.
Yeah, so if I could have everybody go to your corner again and mute yourself again, we just have a little bit more business to attend to, and then we can get started on our sharing ideas, studio tips, and all that. So, let's see where. Okay. Well, let me just go on to the next, and this is probably the last time I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be leading this. I think Kathy and Robbie and David will be doing this next, but I'll just keep on going with this meeting. We have a new venue. We have, quite a few venues now, and we have a new one, which is the and I had to look this up, how to pronounce this. It's Reiki Center. Is this Roberta? You're down there. Did I say that correctly? Reiki?
It's Reiki.
Reiki. Oh, I still haven't said that right. Okay. Reiki Center, which is in Grandview. So I think the first artist we're going to have there is on the tip of my tongue, Karen Jesko. But I think following that, and Roberta, is it 2 months?
Yeah, 2 months. Mm-hmm.
So we'll need someone for August, September, October, and going forward from there. And you can contact Judy Coggin on this. Unfortunately, I was hoping she'd be on the call, but she isn't.
Or me.
Okay.
You can contact also me.
Contact Roberta.
Because they want me to be the coordinator.
Okay, so Roberta
along with Judy.
The co-coordinator on this venue, which is in Grandview Heights. But it seems like it's a pretty nice venue, like 6 to 8 pieces. Is that correct?
Right. I have one piece in the main lobby that's about 20 by 30, but there's room for 24 by 36. One in the hallway that's 20 by 30, and then the other 6 are small. They're like 12 by 18 or 18 by 24. So, and she said she might have more room, but right now there's room for 8, which is what I've got up there.
Awesome.
But I told her it's time for me to come down. I've been there for years, so.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you, arranging that, and
Yeah.
I think that'll be a great place for us to go into as well. So, if you guys have any questions on the venues that you're slated for, I know that there are some that are open and some that are not. And I saw that Robbie had put out an email today about those places. But if you have any questions, contact Judy Coggin, and I have her email in our agenda if you guys want to download that or whatever, or if you know her, it's her email is jrcoggin@gmail.com. So you can get a hold of her and find out about your venues that you're and I know there are a couple that still need some people in there, so you might want to take a look at that email and see if you might want to get in. So I'm just going to go down to our upcoming events. One of them is actually about to close, and that's our art stroll, and we have a lot of great art in downtown Dublin, in the businesses that we're able to open, and it's been great to be in there. I just want to remind anybody that is in those businesses to please have arranged to pick up your work at the end of this week, because it's the end of July, and or if you've arranged to keep it longer, that's fine too, but make sure you've kind of touched base with them about that. Also about to end is our Dublin Art League logo contest. So there's just a few days left on this, and there's been some great entries. I'm really excited. So, but if you have some ideas, or have been working on that, you have 2 days left to get that in. All the guidelines are on our website. There's a link in our agenda as well to that. So get those in. And what we're going to do is the board is going to take a look at them and kind of whittle them down to maybe, I don't know, 10, 12, it kind of depends, like, a good range. And then we're going to send those out and have everyone have a say. So have a vote on the final one. And then the winning entry gets $350. They get free membership for a year and bragging rights. So it's a great thing, and we get a new identity, which is a great thing as well. So that we can be able to put in on our promotional things. So Yeah, so be looking for that. And if you have things that you're going to be sending in, send that in quickly. The Irish show is up at the Dublin Rec Center, and that's up until August 29th, so the end of August. And they're actually, Carr put together a wonderful, thank you so much, Carr, put together a wonderful online gallery of that. And there is a link to that in this agenda. I think that was just sent out, and it's probably, it's on our Facebook as well, I believe. So there's a couple of links about that. I think it'll be on our website as well. Yeah, take a look at all the entries, and if you can get over there, you actually, Kathy was just saying you could just walk in and say you just wanted to look at the artwork, and you could do that. So you don't necessarily have to sign up to, because normally you have to sign up to go to the gym now, but you can just go in to look at the artwork, and they'll let you do that. And there is a People's Choice Award. So you can vote for your People's Choice by August 15th. And, please be sure to spread this around too. People that you know of that go to the gym, or, family members, whatever, and vote for those People's Choice, and they get a ribbon as well. So by August 15th. There is going to be, normally we don't meet in the summer, but because we had some business and because we wanted to get our officers voted in, we're meeting right now, but normally we just have, maybe some socials during the summer. And so our next social is going to be Thursday, October 20th, which would be like, if we were to meet during the summer, it'd be the third Thursday at 7 p.m. And our committee, the social events committee, will be taking care of that. So, just, details are to come about that. But another way for us to get together, and, during this time, it's great to be together. So I have some exciting news. If you haven't seen already, Robbie put a little bit, or she just put this on our website about this. We're going to have our workshop with Chris Sleeper that was supposed to be scheduled in the spring. We're going to do it in the fall, and it's going to be an online workshop. After I go through kind of these upcoming events, I'm going to have Robbie's going to talk a little bit more about that. So, but that is September 1st, 3rd, and 5th. And yeah, Robbie will tell us more about that. So our first official meeting for the year will be on Thursday, September 17th. So that's the third. We always meet the third Thursday of the month, and we'll have details to come about that. We're probably going to be meeting online at this point. It'd be nice to say we'll have to see how things go, but as things are going. But anyway, we're still going to meet, and we're still going to do this. So, and then our October meeting will be Thursday, October 15th. And we're going to have our paint out that was scheduled in June. We have a date for Saturday, October 24th. And that's the same day that supposedly Dublin is having their family fall fest. We'll see if that happens or not, but regardless if Dublin does its fall fest or not, we're still going to do our event because we can be outside, we can be socially distanced. And Robbie is going to tell us a little bit about that as well in just a little bit here. We're hoping to still have our fall show. That's usually late October and early November till about the beginning of December. And our reception would be like during our meeting time in November. So it would be November 19th. We can put that on our calendars as well. Just kind of think that the third Thursday of every month, we'll have something going on here. And hopefully we can have a boutique. right now we really can't plan that, but it'd be nice to say we could figure that out. So we'll just wait and see on that. Then lastly, our December social will be, yep. Did I miss something?
Explain what the boutique is for the.
Sorry. Yeah. So it'll be, we've done this for a couple years now. It's where artists can come and sell their work. We set up like little tables, little booths, and we actually invite other artists as well. So it doesn't need to be just the Dublin Art League. And it's a nice sale. It's been really well attended and great things. You can be thinking about you know, what you could sell. So smaller items, under $100, actually under 50 is probably the best sellers, but under $100. And it's a great event that we have every year at the Dublin Rec Center. And we usually have it towards the end of our fall show. So let's hope that we can still continue with that, or you know, or maybe do a virtual show or something. So
What was the date again of the paint out?
Of the paint out?
Yeah.
The paint out is Saturday, October 24th.
Thanks.
Yep. And then I explained about the fall show. And then lastly is the December social. And that's Thursday, December 17th. I think last year we decided to do it a little bit of earlier because of the holidays. So, I mean, I'll let the board, you know, I'll let the steering committee figure that one out, but that would be the third Thursday in December. So,
Is there an August meeting? So nothing for August?
the August meeting would be the social. So it isn't, we don't necessarily usually have meetings during the summer, but you know, everything's up in the air this year. So we've been doing it, but yeah, usually we start in September. And also, I guess we should also say, look for, we usually have re-upping membership at that time as well. Although Kathy and David and Robbie, you guys are exempt from that. You have free membership as the president and vice president. So, okay, and I think I'm gonna hand it over to Robbie for a little bit to talk about the workshop with Chris Leeper and the paint out, and also Robbie, if you could talk about your communications committee that you want to have. So I'm gonna hand it over to you for a while. I'm gonna mute myself.
Right, let's see. Let me go back to, I'm gonna pin myself. There. So yeah, the communication committee. I am the person that sends out the newsletters and does all the posting on social media and updates the website. And I would really, I could really use some help breaking down some of the tasks. For instance, I don't do a good job at all in Twitter. We have a Twitter account, and if it's anybody, any member has already a Twitter account that they're active on, would be probably easier for them. I don't have my own Twitter account. I never go to Twitter, but it would be nice as a Dublin Art League to become active, avoiding all the political stuff, but you know, supporting artists and art organizations. So if anybody wants to help with a Twitter account, we can use one or even two per people. I can give you contact me, and I can give you the password, and you can get started. And it's basically about posting some things about us, but also sharing and liking and commenting on other positive art things that are happening around us. Same thing with Instagram and Facebook. Facebook, we already have a few administrators for the new page, but we can always use more people that, you know, kind of try to, you can post as yourself on our Facebook group and our Facebook page. So feel free to share any art opportunity that you see out there. workshops that you enjoy, anything that you see, share to the group and to the page too. I'm going to share the screen with on our website. This is the one that I updated today. Hopefully you will be able to see it. The acrylic landscape painting with Chris Sleeper. Chris Sleeper is a super talented artist, and he lives in North Ohio. And he was scheduled to teach in March, and then we had to cancel because of COVID. And so we were able to have him, he did an amazing job testing Zoom out and figuring out how to teach over Zoom in a very efficient way. And he's an amazing artist. His paintings with acrylics, watercolors, or oils, anything he touches becomes wonderful. So I'm really looking forward to this. The amazing news is that the cost of the 3-day workshop went down quite a bit because he's not traveling, there is no hotel, there is no rental of a classroom. So for 3 days, it's a little shorter in hours, but it's going to be available to the students to answer questions and to give one-on-one feedback after hours, after those 3 hours of daily Zoom live. It's only $39 for DAAL members, which is amazing. It's like an amazing price. I couldn't believe it, but that's what it came out to. So I'm like, okay, we'll make it happen. Because
it's basically like free, Robbie.
Pretty much, yes, yes. And this is an amazing artist that does realistic acrylic landscapes. So we're going to accept up to 20 people. And that's part of why it went down, because he's willing to get less money. He's teaching less hours, and he's going to get more people on. So the cost, divided by 20 people instead of 10, it made a difference. Anyway, if you want to jump on it, you go to this page on our website. It's basically when you go to the website, under the league, there is classes, and it's right here, this one. So if you click on this and you scroll down, there is the registration form. And the moment you submit, it should take you to the payment page. And you should receive an automatic email that says, thank you for registering. If you don't get the automatic email, look in your spam. If it's not there, resubmit. It's, it's me. I'll see if I get it twice. I see it's always the same person. So it's resubmit if it doesn't work the first time. But yeah, so you are the first people to hear about this, other than the people that were already enrolled, and I told them the good news yesterday. And so they're gonna get a refund for the money that they paid extra. All right, so this was the workshop. The other thing that we have is under call for entries, we have the paint out. The paint out has been moved to the 24th of October, and it starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. For this one, we're going to need volunteers to help us to set up and to man the registration table. Basically, the way it works is we call artists to come out and register. And this year, we are strongly recommending that they register online. Down here, there is the registration form, and they can pay online or send a check, just to cut down on handling payments at the beginning. But what they need to do is to come there and have their support stamped on the back and start a painting, brand new painting that morning. And then you can register up to noon, but you have until 3 o'clock to finish your painting. We were supposed to show at the library, the Upper Arlington Library. And the juror is Mark Gingerich, which is or I'm not sure how you say it. Gingerich, I know. I'm Italian, I always get it wrong. But anyway, I'm sorry. Sorry, Mark. But he's a really amazing, talented, impressionistic oil painter, and he has a lot of painting. And he shows with Brent Roberts down in the show north. At the end of the day, after 3 o'clock, for the first time, we're going to have same day judging. So he's going to come and judge the entries, and we're going to know the awards right there. And we're going to have a wet sale for the first time. Instead of showing in a physical place, we're going to have as soon as an artist brings in their painting, it's going to be available for sale unless they don't want to sell it. And that, at that point, the Dublin Art League is going to process the payments, and we're going to take a 5% commission, and 95% goes to the artist. So this goes until 4 o'clock. And at 4 o'clock, we take everything down, and the artists are supposed to be there and pick up their painting and take it home. Meanwhile, we're going to have taken pictures of these beautiful paintings, and we're going to have an online show with instead of a physical show. And if they're still available for sale, maybe we'll figure out how to do that. Maybe we're going to have labels when they can contact the artists or something. All right, does it make sense? Do you have any questions? I'm going to stop the sharing.
Question, Robbie, did we collect a commission from the artists before when we sold their paintings?
Sometimes, yes. Actually, there is also a $15 fee to register, which I forgot to mention.
Okay.
That goes towards the awards because there are cash awards.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, when we process with a credit card sales, we usually take between I think we took 10%.
Okay.
Am I right, Carl? I think we took 10% in the past when we sold, like at the gift shop, at the Ohio State Fair, or at the art on the yard at the McConnell in Worthington, things like that. It needs to cover, because the square takes 3.5%.
Sure.
Between 3% and 3.5 depends. So it's to cover the commission of the credit card and a little bit of tiny fundraising, not much.
Okay.
All right. Did I cover everything, Dawn?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Did anybody have any questions on any of that?
Yeah, hi. I got one question since I'm so new. So you mentioned, Dawn, that artists can be there and sell their paintings as well. How does that work? Or is it just those that are doing the paint out that day are selling?
Yeah,
that?
Yes.
Yeah, got it. Okay, thanks.
But I suppose if you are set up and doing a painting and you want to have a couple of things by you for sale, I mean, Robbie, would that be all right? You know, if
you're right.
You know, where you're set up, if you,
yes.
You know, yeah.
I actually recommend that when somebody signs up, I usually send out an email to remind them of the day of, and I always say feel free to bring your other work around you. You never know.
And I think it's a good idea too, if you have a business card, to bring your business cards to have handy. So in case people see your work and want to commission you at a later time, it's a good thing to have on hand.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, great suggestion.
Yep. That's a very good point. So just a couple more miscellaneous things and we can get back to our sharing part of it. We kind of mentioned about the fall show that will be, you know, as far as we know, you know, we'll be doing that. The Dublin Rec Center is open as long as they're okay with us having screens up. You know, we'll have to give permission and things like that. But you know, we do have our Irish show up, so I'm hoping that means that we could do our fall show as well. But we will need a committee chair for that. And an incentive for the chair is that they receive free entry for that as well. So, you know, please consider that. And of course, we'll have a committee as well, so it won't be just you. Hi, Stevie. So we'll have a committee as well. And Stevie, I'm sorry. So we're in the midst of our meeting here, but there is a link to the agenda in the chat. And you can kind of see what you can kind of follow along if you want to, or, you know, even later on you can print that out and get some of the links and things like that. Or so yeah, be thinking about becoming a fall chair, and we'll have a call for volunteers, and if you want to be on the fall chair committee as well. So one thing I want to share right away is that Susan Rossiter and Pam and Joni, when you guys were the president,
Whatever.
vice president, yep, you had this sketchbook that you passed around, and I have had this sketchbook since probably before Christmas.
Shame on you.
I know. So it's filled with wonderful art. So this is a sketchbook that we pass around that has some wonderful, I'm just going to flip through real quick, some wonderful artwork in here of, as we pass it around. So you just do a piece of art and then pass it to the next person. This was mine, this mixed media piece here.
I love that.
Oh, thank you. So I would love to pass it on to somebody else. So please contact me if you'd be interested in receiving this. I can, arrange for you either to, I can send it over if you're local, or you can pick it up from me or whatever. So, but anyway, I have the DAAL sketchbook that we're sharing, and we can just keep on going. And then when we can meet in person, we can actually have this out and you guys could all see it, which would be great. So yeah, so let me know about that. Another thing is we would like people to, when you share on social media, when you're sharing either your artwork or something that you're involved in, or something that, if you could do hashtag DAAL member, just D, like under, I'm trying to say what I'm not trying to say uppercase, undercase DAAL member. So hashtag DAAL member, and that'll kind of tag you so that we will, keep on. Robbie had taken a look about this. Robbie, maybe you should talk because I am really screwing this part up.
As you say it, I'm actually typing it on the chat so they can visually see it.
So she's typing it up, but we want you to tag your own work so that we can see, and then we can share your work as well. And actually, if you also want to do the at sign, Dublin Art League, that'll also kind of tag us so that we will know.
Where does the tag go?
Well, so either if you're on Facebook or on Instagram, I suppose on Twitter. I don't do Twitter myself, but I think you could do that with Twitter as well, and tag yourself, and then we'll kind of know, we can recognize our members. Sometimes we catch things and sometimes we don't. So it's just a good way for us to, we can kind of keep track of those hashtags and those, and then if you tag us too, we'll know, and then we'll be able to share your work. So
just to let you know what happens is that from my point of view, I'm the one that looks at the Instagram account. If you use the @Dublin Area Art League, I get a notification on my phone that says this person tagged you. So that's like, I can't miss that one. That one is a notification that comes up on my phone even when it's off, when I'm not on it, and it says this person tagged you. If you use the hashtag DAAL member, it's actually a very precious hashtag, because when I looked it up, there was no post whatsoever under that hashtag, which is very rare. Usually they're all overused. So if we start using that just for us, as the account of Dublin Art League, I'm following that hashtag. So it comes up on my feed every time there is a hashtag that I'm following, I see a post that was posted using that hashtag. And if I click on it, on the hashtag, I see all the posts that have been using that hashtag.
Yeah.
So it's two ways to be seen by us, and also if you use the hashtag and somebody clicks on that hashtag to see, oh, let's see what the Dublin members have been doing, then they see a page full of different posts from all the different members that have been using that hashtag. We're all grouped together under that hashtag, which is great to see. What the Dublin Art League account is going to do, it's to feature you in our story. So that's where I need help because sometimes I don't go on Instagram for a day or two and I miss it. You know, I miss people, I miss posts. So I kind of need somebody that backs me up and goes into the Instagram account, that if you have your own, you can switch between accounts easily. I can show you how on Instagram. And basically, if you see somebody using the hashtag or tagging us, we have to share on the story. We will share, and you're going to be on your account. Your followers are going to see it, but also our followers are going to see it. And we're going to tag you on the story. So if the people click, they come to your profile. Does it make sense? So it's a way to expose and to help you with marketing exposure, being seen by different people than your regular followers.
And it's a way for us to recognize what you're doing as well. So yeah, it's kind of a win-win. So if you can just get in the habit, I mean, it's, you know, it's hard to get in the habit of that, but if you get in, you know, just try to remember that as when you're posting things, then it's just a way for us to know what you're doing, and for others to know what you're doing as well. So I just have a few other things real quick. So Robbie has sent out some emails kind of about this meeting, but I think 2 emails ago, she actually posted a bunch of events kind of in the community as well. And I want you to make sure that you go into that and take a look at all those things. There's some things for the Roy G. Biv, the calls for entry there. There's the Piqua Fine Art Show. So you could look at that. The Rife Gallery has a new show going on, and they have a bunch of virtual tours and artist talks. And also at the Rife Gallery, and this is kind of my own plug, is that I'm involved in a collage of women's artists group, and we're having a lobby show there. And there's a couple of DAAL members in that as well. So Bev Goldie and Ganelle and I we're going to be in that show in the lobby as well. So if you actually physically go there, you can see the work. But I think there is a virtual, if I'm not mistaken, there is going to be a virtual tour of the show inside the Rife Gallery, and it's called Paper Routes, Women to Watch. So it sounds like a very interesting show. The Columbus Cultural Arts Center has a show of the instructors, which Bev Goldie is one of the instructors. I don't know if they have a virtual one of that or not. Does anybody know? I'm not sure. So it might be just something you have to go in person to see, you know, get out and to venture out a little bit and go see it. But they usually have some programming as well through the Cultural Arts Center. The Dublin Arts Council has lots of things going on, so take a look at that. And then I had a couple things also to just add to those things. The Zanesville Museum of Art is having, they're doing their 75th anniversary show, like it's a juried show. The deadline for that is August 4th. So it's coming up very soon. But if you go to the Zanesville Museum of Art and look for the calls of entry, you should be able to find that. If not, get a hold of me and I'll send you the link to it if you're having a hard time with that. But I know that's coming up very soon. Um, let's see, there was one other thing. Oh yeah. So I don't know if you guys heard that about Amina Robinson, who was a very well-known artist in Columbus, just amazing artist. She just was one of my idols, actually. The Columbus Museum of Art is has renovated her home in Columbus and is opening up that to an artist residency program. And they're actually having a artist residency and ribbon cutting of her home tomorrow, so Friday, from 3 to 4. So it'll be a virtual event from 3 to 4. You do have to, I don't know why, but you do have to register to do that. So you just go on the museum website. Is this right, Pat? Do you know about this? Is that right? Do you want to unmute yourself? Do you know anything more about it? If you can, I don't know. Or
Okay.
Sydney? Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that much about it. I just know that the museum put out the information and I went online and registered it. And then you receive an email back immediately saying that you're registered. And I just assume you log on at 3 o'clock or whatever, and they show the tour of her house. And they've kind of, museum has kind of put out some pictures too, some of the work that they've done on the house and everything. And it's going to be used for an artist in residence program. So, I mean, that's all I know about. I just from what I received from the museum. So,
Okay.
Yeah. Sydney and I are not. Our docent is pretty much, we're not doing anything, and they're not having any tours at all this year. So it's rather sad for us. But,
I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah, but I mean, we still meet on Zoom and everything. Our teams do, but yeah, but unfortunately, the kids will not be coming in at all this year. So, but I think if you go to CMA's website and you type in Amina Robinson virtual tour, it should come up and you can register for it.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And then one other last thing is that the Greater Columbus Arts Council, the GCAC, I just received an email from them, and I would strongly recommend you, getting a newsletter from them if you can. But they have a bunch of calls for grants and workshops, and they even talked about some sort of virtual scrawl, which is like kind of like a well, it was supposed to be an event, but now they're doing it virtually. And I don't know all the information, but there's more information about that on their website. And if you want to get their newsletter as well, they'll send you information in your inbox about that. Robbie, was there anything I missed?
No, I think you said everything.
Okay, great.
Dawn.
Yeah. Yes.
Just to clarify, the Columbus Museum is open for visitors. It's just that they do not want any volunteers at this time. So we're not touring.
Do they have guards in the galleries, or?
Yeah, and I think they take your temperature and have a limited number. I don't know. You'll have to go on their website. I've just been kind of sleeping.
Yeah. You have to wear a mask too. You have to wear a mask and social distance, and they keep track of the number of people in each gallery so people don't get all bunched up and all that. You may have to make a reservation in advance too.
Yeah, you have to call in advance.
Yeah.
Been
out of the loop. Totally.
Times that we're in, right?
Taking a COVID snooze.
Yes.
Yeah.
But at least art goes on. And I mean, I think we're a testament to that. We've been able to, make it happen despite this pandemic. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to all of you, and we're going to do some sharing. And we're calling the segment The Best Ever. And it's like a members share. I think the best way to do this is to have people kind of raise their hands or whatever to, or, you know, just actually, yeah, raise their hand and unmute yourself. And if you want to share something about what we're talking about, then by all means, and it probably would be a good idea to have some paper and pen and, you know, write some notes at this point too, because I'm sure there'll be lots of great ideas.
Dawn, I have one quick question.
Yes.
You heard, have you gotten much feedback from people that have done the art stroll? Or any of our members? Have they gone through the art stroll?
I have heard, I mean, it sounds from when I've been talking to the businesses themselves, I went to some of the businesses just to check on things, and they seem to have had, you know, a decent response.
Okay.
For the people that have gone there, I don't know if anybody's necessarily going, you know, just because there is an art stroll, but if they happen to be there, yeah, it is hard to say, but I think it's just great to have this, and next year we'll make it even better. And you know, if anybody has any suggestions on how to increase our visibility and any other you know, ideas, please feel free to let us know. So I'm sorry, what was that? Oh,
the timer's going off.
the timer's
What are
going.
you doing?
The timer. Oh.
Another off.
Okay.
That's my husband.
Okay.
Didn't know what we were doing.
Okay. So at this
I
point,
just have a quick announcement.
oh sure, yeah.
It's just a thank you to the Art League. I was the only exhibitor at Random Precision this month, and it was the owner was really very nice about, you know, wearing a mask and social distancing and letting us get up on the table to hang the artwork and giving us step stool. Anyways, I got an email today from somebody that wants to buy 2 of my big pieces that are up. One of them is the picture that's behind me. Anyways, so I just wanted to share that. Just a thank you.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So that's all I have. Nothing fancy other than that.
Does anybody else have anything to share before we do our official share? Anything? Okay, I see Kathy. Do you want to say something?
Yes, I do. I had talked with Amanda after a collage workshop that Susan put on, and I was talking about how unmotivated I was about everything, not just art, but everything. And so I promised Amanda I'd have something that I had done since then to show that I've actually done some art and gotten a little motivated to do something. What I have, it's an encaustic piece that I had done that I just never felt was quite finished. And then my daughter gave me some flower petals from a geranium she has that had stayed pink as they had dried. And I thought, ooh, I've never tried to do that, you know, because a lot of your dried materials you do on a collage or an encaustic piece are all going to be just brown stuff. And so I thought, well, I'll play with these and see what I can do. And I was very, very excited because I don't know how well you can see that, but it's a piece that had color in the background that I had put wax on top of and then scraped off for some color behind and various texture and other things. But the bright pink you see is actually flower petals that I incorporated into the wax, not knowing if the hot wax or the heat gun would like brown them out or burn them or start a fire in my garage. But they came out just very beautiful. So I was very excited that some of my daughter's flower petals that she saved for me kind of finished off. The encaustics are hard to show, but they kind of finished off a piece that I'd been holding on to because it wasn't quite done. And so, Amanda, I actually did some art. I hope you're proud of me.
Lovely. Thanks for sharing.
So I just wanted to show that I got motivated to do something because somebody else gave me something to say, hey, can you do this in some of your artwork? And it worked. And it really kind of, like I said, the piece doesn't show well on a screen, but I think it finally finished off a piece I'd been kind of sitting with because it wasn't quite done. And so that's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
I love that. That's great. All right. I think I saw Car. You had a hand up.
Don, my name is Jim Lowry, and I'd like to introduce my wife, Kathy, and I as new members to your league. We just became members a couple of weeks ago. So we're looking forward to future meetings and information and things like that, and I might be able to gather from all you folks. I just started painting about maybe 2 years ago after I retired, and so I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to hopefully getting better at it. So with all your help, maybe I will. So that's what I have. Kathleen in there. Here's my wife, Kathy.
Hello.
Well, welcome. Thank you for introducing yourself. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we look forward to actually meeting you in person, hopefully one of these days.
That's right, yes.
All right, Car, you had something to say, to share?
Can't hear you.
Car, we're not hearing you, unfortunately. I'm so sorry. Is there another way to do it? No? Oh. Do you want to, is it something you can do, you could say in the chat maybe to us? Okay, okay. I think Car, so just keep an eye on your chat and Car will type that in for us. Anybody else have anything to, any regular, okay.
I was just looking around my room here, and Pat was the one who introduced these two books to me, but I think for people, especially who are beginning painting, it's good for everyone, but particularly for beginner painter. And it's probably backwards, but it's daily painting. And the author is Carol Marine. I guess that's how it's spelled, Marine. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's a real good book to loosen up. That's why Pat and I got it, was to try to loosen up our paintings. And the other one is Patty Malika, How to Paint Fast, Loose, and Bold. Which I'm still struggling with. But they're nice books. And especially if you're kind of low on motivation these days, they're a good way to maybe get you motivated.
Thanks for the information.
Yeah. How do you spell the last name of Patty Malone?
Malika. I'm gonna write it on well, you can show the book, I guess.
Is it backwards for you guys?
No.
Okay, it's backwards when I show it.
It's Mollica.
Yes.
And I have that book. I haven't started using it yet. That's one of the reasons I'm here tonight, because I haven't done anything during this pandemic. But she also has a video where she demonstrates all this stuff, and it's available on one of those websites for like $30 or something.
Okay.
And you can, and it's yours. You put it on your screen and you can look at it over and over and over again.
And Pat, who was the woman you took the workshop from that on YouTube? Isn't she on YouTube a lot?
Yeah, and you can go to Carol Marine. You can also go to YouTube and watch she has done free videos and you can watch her. But Sarah Sedgwick, and I think it's Sedwick. She's fabulous. In fact, it's odd that you mentioned her, Cindy, because the thing that I wanted to share is this. It's Gamblin's solvent. It's a gel for people that are oil painters. And Sarah's the one that, when I took her workshop last summer, and so did Robbie, she well, I mean, I had not used this prior to that. And it's turned out to be fabulous for working with oil paints. And it's, you know, kind of looks like a tube of toothpaste, basically. And it's a gel, it's thick, and it stays on your palette. It doesn't run off, and it's works beautifully for thinning your paints down, particularly in the beginning of your painting process. So, but Sarah Sedgwick is another one to look up online. I mean, she's done a lot of live Facebook things too, where she's live for an hour, just showing the process of her painting. That's been kind of a nice thing to watch during this pandemic. So, yeah.
Okay, Kathy.
One thing I have been very motivated to do is buy art supplies and have them come.
Yeah.
So,
I get that.
You guys,
yeah. And then I did Susan's workshop last Saturday. So now I have a grand plan because the fiber paste came today and I've got some stencils now. But I wanted to share also, these are, I don't know if you can see it, but it's an Arteza outdoor acrylic. And it's very thick. These are things I've been doing with my grandsons. But you get this fabulous texture. And I know that the Dublin art group is going to have a rock painting exchange. And these would be fabulous for rock paintings or anything you want to weather. But these are just really neat, nice and thick. And also Arteza brush pens. I really like using those. They're very transparent and I just think they're fun. So I need to get all of my new supplies together in a grand plan and actually start using them.
Yeah.
That's something to share? Tools, books, resources. Robbie?
I think I was saying what I want to share. I'm going to share how I take pictures. I found what works best for me to take pictures of my paintings. And it might be old news for many people, but basically what I do, the challenge is to get the colors that are close to real, and the glare is always a challenge. So I tried inside with different lights, and there is always some areas that stay in the shadow and some areas that are very lit. So what works for me is to go outside in the back of my house in the morning, like my south face of the house that is in the shadow, or even better if it's a cloudy day. And I put my painting up kind of vertical, because if you put it like this to take pictures, it reflects the sky and it gets a lot of blue colors. And then with my phone, I don't use fancy cameras. I make sure that the edges of my painting fit very, very close to the edges of my phone. So it's straight on, it's not at an angle, like it doesn't, you know, it's skewed. And I take a picture. Then what I need to do with that, I take like 5 pictures. And what I do with that is to go into some kind of an editor. And you still have to take some blue out because you are outside and you have a lot of, the sky has blue light. if you are in the shadow, less in cloudy days, but it's still kind of cool. So you have to take out some of the blue and add some of the warmth. And usually that's what you have to do. So sometimes you can do that on a very simple editor on your computer, like or your iPad or something. I now have a very old version of Photoshop that I found in a drawer, like from 15 years ago, and it's still working. I got the CD. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna use this. But before I found the CD, I was using a free web editor. It's called Pixlr, and I'm gonna post on the chat the link. And basically, it has a lot of the features that Photoshop has, but it's not too complicated. It takes maybe a little bit to figure out how it works, but I found that if you go into curves and you adjust the blue curve, you take it down, and the red curve, you take it up. That's all you need to do most of the times. So that was just my tip. I don't know if it's useful to anybody, but it works for me. I'm gonna.
Okay, that's a great tip. Wow, this is awesome. I love hearing your ideas, guys. Anybody else want to? David.
Hi. So yeah, I've got a recommendation for a company that does tremendous work on art printing, and it's a small outfit. They're in a place called Hillsdale, Illinois, and it's called Indigo Image Labs, and you can find them on the web. They do wonderful print work, very inexpensive, and they use tremendous high quality print paper, and they have a whole variety of wonderful papers that you can print on. They also provide drop shipping. So if you've taken an order for a piece of work that you want printed and mailed directly to your client, yeah, they do that as well. And it comes from you. It doesn't come from them. So when your client receives the package, it's from, Dawn Petrel or, whatever. So they do custom work. It takes usually about maybe 1 or 2 days, and they ship it out very quickly. The only holdup has been the United States Postal Service, but they've switched now to UPS and others, so they're doing some work with that. And I don't usually recommend companies because I don't want to get involved, but these guys are tremendous, and they've got a really high quality lab. They all use these tremendous Canon photo labs and do really good work. So Indigo Image Labs is a really, really good vendor, and I'd highly recommend them. If you're into, taking your work and printing it. They do wrap canvases for you. They'll do a lot of other special stuff. And if you go on the website, you can upload your painting, portraits, whatever, and you can see what they're going to look like ahead of time. You can do 3D views of it, and you could change frames and all sorts of stuff directly there. So I've been really impressed with and great service. You call them and a human picks up the phone. It's just wonderful.
That's great. Do they do cards as well? Do they print cards? And what about like card sleeves, that kind of thing, like things to sell?
So yeah, they do that as well. So just go to their site and noodle around, and if you're interested in taking a look at them, I highly recommend them.
Great. Yeah, that's a great tip.
Indigo Image Labs.
I love it. All right. Anybody else?
I'll mention I'm hanging a small show this weekend in Strongwater, which is the restaurant and bar that's affiliated with 400 West Rich. They're only open from 4 to whatever time the government decides, but it'll be up for 3 months, and hopefully by the end of 3 months we could all go at some point or another to a public place and have a drink. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Yes.
That's wonderful. Dana, will you take some pictures and put it on our Facebook lounge for us?
Sure,
You can see
sure.
that? I mean, hopefully some of us can come see it in person as well, but we would love to see what you've done.
Robbie was talking about the problems of photography, and I went with my husband, I think yesterday, and took pictures and measurements for the wall space. And their walls, when you photograph them, sometimes they're blue and sometimes they're suddenly brown. I mean, it's just the strangest environment. So it'll be interesting to see how it works.
Yeah.
I may have to call Robbie and say, hey, tell me what to do here.
I love it though. That's great. Okay, who else? Who else would like to share? Anybody? Any favorite books or art resources on the web? I wanted to share actually this book, which hopefully you guys can all see. It's called I'd Rather Be in the Studio, and it's by Allison Stanfield. And this is all about, it's an artist's guide to self-promotion. So it's a lot of, things about like the, on the internet and getting yourself promoted and, actually talking to people. So things that you don't want to be doing necessarily, but I think as an artist to promote yourself, it's very good. And I actually have an older copy, which I've like highlighted so many things in it. This is her newest version of it. She's actually had different versions of it. So this is the newest version, but it's kind of been a very good reference for me. So that's I wanted to share that. Anything else? Any good teachers to look for? Any good workshops?
So being a late bloomer myself, I would, for people that are new, stress how valuable it's been for me to take any course and to try any medium, because every time you do something, you learn a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And after you do it for a couple of years, once in a while you actually know something. It's amazing. But it's the repetition. I think for me, the repetition is so important. So I get up every day and I paint every day. And maybe 6 days a week.
Yeah, that's the key.
But that's the key. The key is you got to do it every day, and all of a sudden it'll be second nature to you, and all the stuff that was hard you finally figure out, and then the next thing you know, you're really painting and not worrying about is the paper right or is the paint right, or what medium am I going to use. So
have you guys heard about the 10,000 hour rule? That it takes 10,000 hours of something to become somewhat proficient at it. And that's a long time. You've heard of that, David, right?
Yeah, that was put out by Malcolm Gladwell a number of years ago. And he's actually done studies on it, that if you devote 10,000 hours to a particular subject, you will be mastered in it. So 10,000 hours of art is a lot of studio time. So, it's, if you do it eight hours a day, you're talking 4 years, 5 years to get really good at it, to master it. Yeah. I just calculated mine. I'm up to 2,200 hours. So I only have another 4 years to go. Then I'll know what I'm doing.
Well, that's what this COVID has been good for, right? You're in your studio doing your work.
I'd recommend, for online work and for learning not only pastel and oil, but acrylics. There's a wonderful lady by the name of Marla Bagata, and she's out of Portland, Oregon. And I don't know what it is about the great Northwest of America, but they produce some of the finest artwork up there. And her name is Marla Bagata. She does oil, she does pastel, watercolor, and most of her work is free, and it's online. I happen to be taking some course work that's not free with her, but I've really enjoyed her. She's a master colorist and just does beautiful stuff. And so if you're looking for, something to watch for a while and learn values and color composition and stuff like that, she's a great resource. Marla
David,
Bagata.
spell her last name.
Yeah, thank you. So it's Begatta, and I hope I didn't mess that up. Let me double check that for you. Marla Bagata.
That sounds right.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on,
Well, I
just
think the only thing I've managed to do 10,000 hours worth of is drinking coffee. So you all are very motivating to me.
Not that
Certainly it's housework.
I'm trying.
I'm doing that too. I'm getting really good at cleaning floors. Tuesdays is
Really?
toilets. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do
A lot
toilets
of
on
cleaning.
Tuesday, windows on Wednesdays. That's why I remember what I'm doing. So Marla Bagata, Baggetta.
B-A-G, wait a minute.
Yeah, Baggetta.
I just put it in the chat window.
Okay,
Oh, great.
thanks.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
Oh, Dana, you're great at getting that done. You've posted, thank you for putting all that
Look
on.
at you.
I sent Robbie a note and said I'd offer to help with the Instagram. In my previous career, because I too am a retired painter, I was a software engineer. So once in a while I can do something on a computer.
Oh, wow. Dana, tell us about your background, where you are. You've got a huge set of windows behind you.
Oh my God, isn't that gorgeous? I can't
Yeah.
take credit for this. It's my studio. And because I was being nice, Robbie might remember that one of the guys in our painting class at the Cultural Arts Center wanted a small studio. I'm in 400. I'd been upstairs for like a year and a half. And so I went to find the guy in charge of rentals and I said, blah, 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 my friend, blah, 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 studio. He says, well, we have one, but when you put your name in for a studio, you say what your price range is. And he says that it's too big, he can't afford it. And I said, it's what? And I went down and looked at it and I immediately took it. To pay for it, my rent had been like $370 and it went up to $5, maybe it's $620. I don't know what it is. It's somewhere around $600. So the first thing I did was quit dyeing my hair because that saved like $150 a month. So I found all these different ways that I was going to pay for this upgrade in my studio. And it has made, I've been there since November, and it's made a significant change in my art.
Oh yeah, I want that studio.
It's beautiful. As soon as weather's good and the health is good, I'm happy to host a party.
That'd be great.
I remember inviting you to the Dublin Art League.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and Worthington. So good to see you everywhere.
I took your advice, Joni.
Yeah. Good.
That's the other thing, that when you start painting, listen to what people tell you. They normally know more than you do.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else have something to share? Any tips or tricks or resources? People to know?
Susan Rossiter still on?
Yes, she is.
Susan, why don't you tell us about your workshop coming up?
On August 15th, I'm doing a collage class. It's just kind of a fun thing that celebrates the textile designers of the 50s and 60s. And I'm making all the papers myself with golden paints on acid-free archival papers. So I'll be sending out some really nice papers, some Fabriano watercolor samples, and some QOR core watercolor samples. And those golden paint, I'm a golden artist educator for golden paints. And Golden has the watercolor line that's called core, QOR. So they sent me a bunch of samples to give everybody. So I'm going to send those out. And it should be fun. We're going to talk about Jacqueline Grove, Vera Newman, and I think two others. I picked two other people, so I'm not sure which. We'll talk about as many as we have time for. But and my tip, I should have prepared better for this, but today I worked from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then just quickly came over here, so I'm having some dinner while we meet. But my tip, I think, would be to paint more and think less. So when just stop thinking and start doing. Just learn how to kind of master your mind so that you don't say, well, I don't know what I'm going to paint and I don't know what to do. Just start, just go. I mean, even if it's just like pour some paint on the paper or the canvas on a table and just start smearing it with your hands. And you'll figure it out. It's just like a less thinking, more doing thing.
Great tip.
I love that. That's great. That's great advice, Susan.
Thanks.
And I've taken one of Susan's workshops, and it was wonderful and so inspirational. So I would highly recommend her workshops. So and you can go to her website and find more about it. Anybody that we haven't heard much from that would like to say some things about? Yes.
Do you folks use a lot of DVDs for training purposes? How to paint? DVDs?
Yeah, I think some of us have in the past. Have you?
Yeah, I've used one so far, and I got a lot of information from them. But just wanted to see what your thoughts were on that.
Am I being heard?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I have been doing some little refresher courses through a company called Udemy, udemy.com, and they have a lot of just basic painting classes, color theory, and and different things like that have been kind of a refresher for me, trying to get back into some, and they're really inexpensive. So.
Mm-hmm.
Can you what, how do you spell that again?
udemy.com.
Awesome. Thank you, Gal, and thank you. Is it Ed? I'm sorry, I just see Lowry there.
It's Jim.
Okay. And Jim, and what's your wife's name?
Kathy.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not an artist. Maybe I'll become one.
Well, we need art lovers too. So that's
me. I love the art.
So
she's a great critique for me.
That's great.
Critiques my paintings.
Hey, Jim.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Jim, it's David. So there's a really good resource called the Artists Network online.
Okay.
And take a look at what they have. It's all online. I think that they do have they do DVDs as well. And for you, since you're just starting out, I would just concentrate on composition and values. Just those two items. If you really understand composition and value, then that'll go a long way in working your artwork. So look for that artist work. You're very welcome.
Have any of you ever used any of these subscription websites like Creative Catalyst? And they have a lot of various artists doing videos and instruction, for $6.99 a month or $9.99 a month. Have any of you found those to be valuable or helpful?
I take courses online all the time, and a couple of the people I've taken from use that as a platform. I think it depends on your instructor.
Uh-huh.
By the way, Jim, I'll look. I have a stack of DVDs or CDs, and I'll see, if any of them look like you'd be interested, I'll send them on to you. But
appreciate that. Thank you.
There's a lot of for many of the artists, there's a lot of free stuff on YouTube
Yeah.
and you have to pick through it.
YouTube, yeah.
But if you know an artist, then you can follow them and then decide whether or not you want to invest your money in their classes or whatever. I did put in the chat box, somebody had recommended a painter, and I put in the chat box a book, Basic Color Theory, an Introduction to Color for Beginning Artists, and it's available in the Columbus Library System. So you can check it out.
Okay.
Pick it up.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. It really is. Thank you, guys. Oh, Susan.
And I'll put in the chat line, a book about the art of perspective. So understanding perspective. And this guy's name's Phil Metzger. He's actually very funny. He writes beautifully, and he takes all of the mystery and the science and mathematics out of perspective and makes it clearly, understandable. Phil Metzger.
Great. Susan, you had something.
I also wanted to add goldenpaints.com and justpaint.org are an excellent resource. They have a video library and they cover like every possible thing you can think of, from the stains that come up through your canvas into your oil paintings and how to kind of protect your paint from that, to paint pouring, acrylic paint pouring, to just everything you can possibly think of. They have an awesome free video library. They also have right now, well, always an email and a toll-free number you can call any questions.
Very good.
Can I ask a question? This may seem like a stupid question, but for all this information that's on our chat right now, are we able to access this after our Zoom call?
Thank you. Thank you.
I just took a snapshot of it and I'm going to send it to Robbie and she'll include it with the minutes, or whoever's doing the minutes.
It will be available if you're recording it in a couple hours or within the next day. You'll get an email that says your recording is ready for viewing, and there'll be 3 separate files that you'll see. But when you send that out, the chat will be included in those files. You'll be able to watch the whole recording plus see the chat.
That's right, they are recording.
As long as you hit the record button.
I did. I
see the recording up above, so it does look like we're recording. Well, this is wonderful. We should probably, I guess, think about closing up. But, I think if anybody had anything that they wanted to add to this, what could they do, Robbie, if they wanted to add some more, if they had some more ideas and they wanted to share them?
would recommend the lounge, the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah. We could, always use those recommendations, just say, I forgot, and give us some more suggestions.
There are many more people there. I mean, there were 25 people at the beginning of the meeting. Now we're down to 21. But if you post there, we probably have 200 or 300 members in that group.
Yeah.
It's a big group.
Yeah. So thank you all for coming, and congratulations to Kathy and David and to Robbie for our new presidents and vice president. We look forward to hearing more in our artist lounge. Keep posting and keep letting us know what you're involved in. Dana, we'd love to see what you're doing with your show. And we'll see you again in August.
Well, Dawn, before we take off, I would like to take a picture of everybody in the gallery view smiling. But before we do that, I wanted to thank you for all of your work.
Yes.
Because you've done amazing, and
great
you
job.
became
Yeah.
vice president when I was president, like a few years back. and you said, I'm gonna do this, but I can't be president, okay?
Last words.
And I said, well, the vice president is supposed to become president, but we'll see. And then we twisted your arm and you did it. And you did a wonderful, amazing job. So really, thank you.
Thank you. Well, it's been my pleasure. I've so enjoyed this. I mean, I'm still going to enjoy this group, but I've really enjoyed serving you guys, and thank you so much.
All right, so if you don't mind smiling for me, I'm gonna take a picture of the screen. So
So she can see me.
Cheese. All right, thank you. I'll post that.
All right.
Summer meeting.
Hope to see
Bye-bye.
you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good seeing you all.
Bye-bye.
Here, see here, all the stuff that they put on chat. I don't think you can print it. No, select all. No. All right, and then you just hit leave.
Yeah, there is a leave button and leave meeting. I think you have to push it twice. My eye keeps watering.
Oh no.
Like I moved.
Well, that was good. That was a fun meeting. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
I guess I will receive, actually, it's the login is through the treasurer email. So I think Carl will probably receive what Susan said about the request. Let me stop the recording.